Okay, so we're talking about the International Maverick Scholarship specifically for this academic year. And so what we're talking about today, like I said, is the International Maverick Scholarship. Specifically, we're going to be focusing on the pre-approved points and the activities, as well as how to submit them. And we'll also talk about how you can find volunteer opportunities and how to submit those hours. So what is the IMS, or International Maverick Scholarship? The IMS offers international students at MSU Mankato reduced tuition costs in exchange for good academic performance and campus community engagement. As a key reminder, the IMS is a privilege, not a right. So please make sure that you are focusing on this throughout each academic year. And if you have any questions, as always, please reach out to your immigration advisor or myself, or really anyone in the KIC can direct you on how to get help with this. Students are expected to earn the scholarship each academic year by meeting specified criteria. So to list off those criteria, we do require that you maintain valid F1 or J1 immigration status throughout your time here. You also, for the scholarship, must achieve a term GPA of 2.5 or a cumulative GPA of 3.0. You also need to successfully earn and complete a minimum of 12 credits each semester. Completed credits are grades A through D and P. Grades that are noted as an F, W, I, IP, or NC do not count, and you would not earn the scholarship. You also must complete 6 points for each academic year. So how do you get this scholarship? So as we talked about, make sure that you complete all of the scholarship criteria for that academic year. Also, as I mentioned, make sure that you remain in legal F1 or J1 immigration status. This is something that if you ever have questions on your status, please make sure that you schedule a meeting with your immigration advisor and they can talk you through that. It is each student's responsibility to make sure that you do what you need to do to remain in status. And then we did get a lot of questions last time about summer, receiving the scholarship for summer. So you are automatically qualified for the scholarship in summer if you met the criteria at the end of the spring semester. So next item, how will I know if I meet all the criteria at the end of spring semester? So the KIC will inform all of you of your scholarship status through your university email. So as a reminder, it's very important that you stay on top of your email management and that you're checking it daily, because all official communication is through that source. So the email at the end of the semester will let you know if you've met all the requirements or if you did not meet the requirements. We are also trying to work on a way to send out reports to students to let them know what their scholarship point or volunteer hours counts are. We don't have a time frame on that yet, but if you ever have questions, you can certainly come ask our team. So what happens if you don't meet the requirements? If you don't meet all those requirements we discussed, and we'll talk about those later again, it would mean cancellation of your International Maverick Scholarship for the following fall semester. So basically you have from the time that you start in the fall semester through April of the spring semester to earn all of your points and or volunteer hours. You can reapply after fall semester if you meet the academic requirements, credits, GPA, and remain in status, and the scholarship will be reinstated for the next spring semester. So our next topic is points and activities. So I'm going to show you all the pre-approved experiences and activities that we have. So this web page that I'm about to show you, I would highly recommend that all of you bookmark this. Because this page is going to have very important information. Second here. It's going to have very important information on what is pre-approved that you can do in order to earn the scholarship points. So You'll scroll down this page here and see all of this information. And again, basically what we'll be talking about a little bit later is how to submit your experiences, which you'll do here. And then if you do have any requests to add something to be considered for an activity or experience, please make sure that you're submitting that request here. The waivers. So these are the 3 waivers that we've identified for the International Maverick Scholarship. So students who are on a medical reduced course load, students who are on severe economic hardship, and students who are studying online from their home country. This is a big one. We'll focus a little bit more time on here. So how do I track my points and activities and volunteer hours? So this right here, this will be live on that International Maverick Scholarship webpage. It's actually, this link is live right now on there. So if you click on this link here, it will take you to our new Galaxy Digital webpage here. So mine is going to look a little bit different than what yours will your first time because I've already signed up. But basically what you'll do is, let me actually log out here quick. Okay, so this is what the home screen will look like uh, before you sign in or register for the first time. So what you'll do, you'll click on login with Minnesota State Star ID, and then it will ask you to log in here. And then once you log in, it will prompt you for you to create your account and for you to select your specified preferences. So once you do all of that, then it will take you to this home page that I'm on right now. And basically, there's a couple of things I'm going to show you here. So once you're on the home page, the first thing I would recommend is going to this agencies tab. And then what you'll do is you will search for the Kearney International Center. So once you search for that, it'll show up here on this page. I'm already a fan here, but what I would recommend is you clicking on this, the KIC page here, and instead of saying fan here, it will say become a fan. So I would highly recommend that you and all of your fellow students, colleagues, and friends become a fan of the KIC, because then you will have quicker access to all of these items here. And then once you go back to the dashboard, every agency that you become a fan of will be right on the home page here. So you'll just click on agencies fan, and then you'll be able to go to KIC a little easier. So once you're on the KIC page, you will see a list of needs here. So how we are using these needs, and I'll try to explain this in as much detail as I can, is these needs will be for the pre-approved activities and experiences. So if you participated in any of those items on the International Maverick Scholarship page, you will click on these items here, and then this is where you will log those points. So for example, if you go in here, let's say you were an International Education Week participant. It tells you what year we're in here, what academic year, and how many points that is worth. So if this is something that you already participated in, you would click on respond. And then in the notes here, basically what you'll enter is you'll enter in all of your contact information and also details about the experience. And all of these specific details that I'm talking about, we will post this video online probably early next week. And I will also make sure that we have the step-by-step instructions posted. But for now, what you will put in here is you will put your full name, first and last, your tech ID. You will also list specific details about the activity and experience you participated in and what you learned doing that activity or experience. You will also list the name, phone number, and email address for the contact person who can verify that participation. Once you do so, you will click on Submit Need Response right here. And then what will happen after that is you will receive an email notification that will tell you, thank you for your interest in this activity, and it will confirm that you have submitted it. So what you'll do at that point, if you want to go back and check and make sure that you've submitted it properly, or if you've submitted a couple of experiences, what you'll do is you'll go up here onto your profile icon and you'll click on the need responses here. And once you click on that, and no, I have not done all of these. These are just examples that I'm giving here. But basically what you'll do is when you click on that need responses, this will show you all of the items and when you responded to them. So that's kind of how you on your own can track that information. And as I mentioned earlier, the KIC plans to run reports on this to update students how many points they have. We do, however, ask that you are patient with us as this is a new system and it may have a few growing pains, but we're going to do our best to keep all of you in the loop on how this is going to work. So next slide we'll go into here. When do I need to finish my activities and points? We've gotten that question a lot in our office lately. So April 28th is the deadline for you to submit all 6 of your points. Just to clarify, if you started this semester, you only need to submit 3 points. So it's 6 points per academic year to earn the scholarship for the following academic year. So if you just joined us here at MSU in the spring of 2023, you will need to submit 3 points by April 28th. If you joined us in the fall of 2022, you will need to submit 6 points by April 28th. Again, that can be the pre-approved experiences and activities or the volunteer hours, as long as it equals 6 points. Next thing we'll talk about is how to find volunteer opportunities. So this is another really big one, and we're going to split this up into 2 parts here. So the first one is on Involve You. So before I go into this, I will say that this system will most likely not be around too much more into the future, but for right now, it is still being used by several organizations on campus. So if you're interested in volunteering on campus, this is probably going to be the best resource for you, unless you already are working with someone on campus and frequently volunteering for them. So if we go navigate to this page here, so this will take you to the events tab in Involve You. So most of the items on here, as you can see, are volunteer opportunities. So for example, if I just click into this one here, so this is the Math Counts Regional Competition. So usually it'll tell you the date, the times here, and the location. And then it'll tell you a little bit about the event. And then usually what you'll do is it'll ask you to fill out some information here. So basically you'll go in here. Oh, sorry, clicked on the wrong one. But you'll go in here, you'll click on these activities, and then it will ask you to usually fill out like your name and tech ID and when you're available. So this is where you go in to find these activities. And then the other piece of this with Involve You is make sure that if you do want to get updates on what the KIC posts, that you go in here and you become a member. So I'm already a member here. But if you're not a member of the KIC page, it will say become a member right here. And so you'll just be able to click on that, and then you will be able to see all of the updates a little bit easier. Okay, so we will move on to the next one here. So Galaxy Digital. So this is the off-campus volunteering. So there's two main ways to search for the off-campus volunteering, and I'll show you both of those here. So if you go to the Needs tab, again, if you're on your dashboard, I'll go back to the dashboard for you. You can click on Needs, which is right under the dashboard category. This is going to show all of the needs in the greater Mankato area. So there's, I think, maybe 20 or so pages of needs on here. So basically what you'll do is you'll go in, you'll find a need that you're interested in. So let's say you want to volunteer for Key City Bike. So you'll go in here, it will tell you a little bit about their organization and what their hours are. And if you're interested in volunteering, you will click on respond here, and you'll just type up a little bit about yourself and let them know that you are interested in that volunteer experience. So with that being said, sometimes you will have to do a little bit of research on your own if you are looking for a specific need or a specific volunteer opportunity that you're looking for. But this is just kind of a blanketed way to go in and look at all the different needs that are on here. If you're more focused specifically on like a specific organization that you know you want to volunteer for, you can click on agencies here, and then you'll be able to select from this list. So I'll just give an example here. Let's pretend we're going to volunteer for the American Red Cross in Southwest Minnesota. So click on here, and again, it will tell you all about their organization, and then it will list all of the needs that they have going on here. So what you will do, you'll find a need. So let's say you wanted to give the gift of time here. So you'll click on View Details. This will talk specifically about the need. So a couple of things you can do here. You can go onto their website here or click this link that they provide and fill out an application to apply. So you could do it directly that way. Or again, you could click on this respond button and respond to the need. And then a member of their volunteer team is supposed to reach out to you with next steps. What I would recommend in this case is if the organization has a link here to apply or they list their website, that I would recommend that you do a little bit of research on what they all have available, and then you can respond to the need here and write exactly what you're looking to do, how many hours you need, when you're available, things like that. Many of these organizations on this webpage will also have an email address and a phone number. If they don't have an email address and a phone number, you may need to do a little bit more digging, like looking on their website or their Facebook page. So as far as the volunteer hour submissions, so once you respond to a need, let's pretend that you volunteered for the Red Cross. What you will do is you'll go to your profile icon here. You will click on track hours, and then you'll click on add hours here. So there's two different ways to submit your hours. If you are submitting hours for something that you responded to on Galaxy Digital site here, you will check this yes box, and then you will select it from this drop-down menu here. So basically, you'll click yes, you'll check if you volunteer for the Red Cross will show up here, and then you'll answer these questions, and you'll put the date worked and the hours, and you'll be able to submit that entry. And what will happen at that point is we will be able to confirm those hours, and we will let you know when they're approved. And I'll show you what that'll look like here shortly. If the hours are not for an organization on here, so let's say you volunteered for someone on campus and it's not posted on Galaxy Digital, what you'll do is you'll click no, and then you'll enter in a little bit more information. So you'll put the where, the who, and the what, and then you'll answer these same two questions down here, as well as the date worked and the hours worked, and click submit. It is very important that you answer all of these questions. Otherwise, that may prevent you from getting the proper points that you have. So once you submit your hours, what you'll do, so you'll go back to this page here. So you'll click on track hours. And once you submit your hours, so all my examples say approved here, but it will say pending, and it'll be in like a yellow orangish color once you first submit it. And then once the CASI staff approves it, it will show up as a green check in this box here that says approved. So you can periodically, maybe every couple weeks, go in here and check the status, and then you'll know if and when those get approved. So a couple of reminders before we move on to the next part. So once you submit your volunteering information, again, make sure that you are checking the status here. And if anything ever gets denied, please make sure that you are reaching out to the KIC to ask for a follow-up on that. As another reminder, every 5 hours of volunteering equals 1 point towards the International Maverick Scholarship. So again, your hours and points may not show as approved until the end of the semester, as it does take a lot of time for our staff to verify everyone's submissions. The most important thing for you as students is to make sure that you submit enough pre-approved experiences and or volunteer hours to equal the 6 points you need, or 3 points if you started this semester, by April 28th of this year. If you have any questions about this process after we get everything posted online, feel free to reach out to your immigration advisor, or you can email our international@mnsu.edu email if you have any questions or concerns. So that's all I had for right now. Does anyone have any questions that did not get answered in the chat so far?
We have a bunch.
I apologize. I think you'll all have to type them because part of my volume is not working.
So do you think it'd be easier to answer them spoken and written in the chat? Yes. Okay, so I can answer some of these, and then Pauline and Blake, if you guys want to type as well. So I'm just going up to the top here. So someone was asking about participating in the honors program for only 1 semester. Should we list this? The honors program decided that they only want to award points if the student is a part of it for an entire year. So I would say if you just started in the spring and you've been a participant, I would say you could log perhaps 1 point for the 1 semester you're in, and then another point for the next semester that you would be a part of it. Jade is asking about cultural presentation to class or in the community for 2 points. How would we meet the requirements for this? Is there a set length or content requirement for the presentation? So typically these presentations were more common in the past before COVID. So I wouldn't say we've really had many since the pandemic. So if this is interesting to you, I highly suggest you get in touch with your immigration advisor and talk to them about kind of how to plan that, because there is a bit of planning involved as a part of it. It's almost like you will need to, advertise the presentation, you will need to reserve a space, and you'll need to kind of plan and someone to support you as a part of that. So if you're interested in doing that, definitely reach out to your immigration advisor. Lemlem is wondering, so 1 point, how many hours do you have to do for 1 point? So 1 point, typically with a pre-approved experience, that is going to be 5 hours of service. However, there are some exceptions to that with pre-approved experiences that maybe you are not working 5 hours. You may be working more or less depending on what the pre-approved experience is. But the general rule is 1 point equals 5 volunteer hours. Working on campus means 1 point for the whole year. So it doesn't matter how many hours you work, it still only counts as 1 point. Mustansir is wondering, is Maverick Food Pantry valid for volunteering? Yes, it is. And where Elias wants to know, does the previous scholarship point, which I've received from InvolveU, directly transfer to the new site, or should I register it again? Good question. You must register it again. So as Blake was saying, we are migrating from InvolveU to Galaxy Digital, and we will eventually phase out InvolveU entirely. So we are asking students to go back into your record of Involve U, find out what you did and what you registered for in Involve U, and then basically re-register it again in Galaxy Digital using the instructions that are provided. All right. Monica wants to know, do we submit the points of peer mentor on the same volunteer link? If you're talking about the orientation, I believe there will be a need for the spring orientation, and that's what you would respond to and then enter your hours in later. Marwa wants to know if it was lagging. Okay. Elias, I would suggest you watching this recording again to see exactly how you submit the experiences using Galaxy Digital. If you go back and watch the recording, you'll see where Blake goes and clicks in different areas to respond to the need and then to log the hours after you have finished your experience. All right. Zoran, what about graduating students? Does anything change with the point system? You still need to do your points. You still need to track them regardless of what semester it is. Unless you are, have some special reason why you don't need to do points. Some Arts wants to know, where would the video be posted afterwards? Would it be on YouTube or MNSU website? I believe this will go up on the website. Am I correct on that? Yes. Okay, cool. So look for the IMS scholarship page. You'll see this recording there. All right. Tasnimul wants to know, will orientation peer volunteers get the full 6 points? No, you will get, I believe it's 3 points for the semester if you did the spring orientation. And that is personally my job, and it's on my list of things to do. I know a lot of you are really wanting to know what happened with the points. I am hoping to get an email out to all of you who are peer mentors for orientation in spring by the end of the day tomorrow so that you can relax about it and get your dining dollars added as well. So it's on my radar. I'm just going to only have time to do it tomorrow. All right. Sachit wants to know, if you're a student leader on campus, do I need to submit anything or is it automatically added as points since it's already recorded Involve You? Good question. This is kind of like a similar question before of, if it's already in Involve You, do I need to log it into Galaxy Digital? The answer is yes. You must resubmit your hours to Galaxy Digital. It seems redundant, I know, and it's inconvenient, but it's better to have it logged twice than to not have it logged in the system where we are counting it. So please take the time and upload your previous experiences that are on Involve You to Galaxy Digital. Okay. Once again, the recording will be on the website on the IMS scholarship page underneath the Kearney Center. All right. Should we add the orientation in our hours, or are you guys going to do that? We will create the need called Spring 2023 Student Orientation Peer Mentor. You will need to find that. You will respond to the need. And then if it's necessary, you will log the hours that you did as a part of it. Okay, I'll specifically about orientation, I will give instructions in the email that I send you guys tomorrow. Have I been doing a good job answering? I hope so. Cool. Okay. Eros wants to know, for on-campus job, you have 1 point each year. So if I started working in fall 2022 and still working, you get 1 point for the year for having a job during the year. 1 point. Okay. One last thing. Do we get hours for this meeting? I hope that's a joke. No. This meeting is for your information so that you are empowered with knowledge to know what you need to do so that you can maintain your scholarship. All right, Tasni Mole, you said, will voluntary hours from last semester be counted? Yes, but you must log them into Galaxy Digital yourself by responding to the need that's been created. So I think one thing that may happen in the next few weeks is as we migrate everything from InvolveU over to Galaxy Digital, you may be looking for something you did that was in InvolveU and it's not in Galaxy. Then what do? If you go back to the recording and you saw Blake was showing you how to manually input an experience, that's what you will do. Some of our staff, I believe in the next few weeks, we will probably be going through as much of InvolveU as possible to try to migrate some of those needs and upload them already, but this is extremely time consuming. And so we're relying on you to be able to register those opportunities that were in InvolveU yourself by labeling them yourself. Okay. Paulina wants me to touch on the prep club for those who might be new. Okay, so if you are a new student who started in spring 2023, right now in January, you all have been told that you have been a part of the International Maverick Prep Club and that this would, your participation and completion of the requirements would meet the necessary 3 points for your scholarship. That is true. So what does that mean when it's time to log your points? So after you have basically gone through all the workshops, gone to all the meetings, completed everything that has been asked of you on D2L, you will around April see the opportunity to log your points for participating in the International Maverick Prep Club. And that's what you will complete inside of Galaxy Digital. All right. Elias is also wondering about the cultural presentation change from 1 point to 2 points. I have no idea. I would go with whatever is on the website. One place that you can see kind of the different values for points is on the Kearney International website and going to the IMS scholarship page, and I will just pop that into the chat here. This link, and that one has a bunch of pre-approved experiences and the point values. So you will be looking for these opportunities in Galaxy Digital, or you will have to register them yourself if they are not already there. Is there any QR code? Do you mean to show that you attended? If you're talking about a QR code to show attendance, there is none, and it's not unnecessary. It's not a workshop for the prep club. This is just an informational webinar for all current undergraduate students who need to be earning scholarship points and logging them. All right, Elias, when I submitted my cultural presentation need response, I just added my tech ID and my professor's email. Is that enough, or should I add anything? Blake, do you have any comments on that?
Sorry, I was looking at a different question. Can you reread the question you're on? Is it the last
So
one?
Elias submitted a cultural presentation need response in Galaxy, and he added his tech ID and his professor's email. Is that enough, or should he add more information?
I would say at a very bare minimum, that is probably going to be enough, but again, I would ask that everyone follows the instructions that I gave in the presentation and make sure that you're including all of the items. I will also, it'll probably be sometime middle of next week when we get this video up. I will also try to get my step-by-step instructions posted on the website as well, so that it is very clear that if you watch the video and you look at that step-by-step guide, that you'll know exactly what you have to enter for each item.
That's great. Yeah, once you have some written instructions from Blake, I think it will make a lot more sense. But think about what we're looking for on our side too. Like we want to see enough information to know that you have done the experience. So usually that's something like who, what, when, where, why, and how, right? So when did it happen? The time and the day. Where was the presentation? Who was helping you with it? Like your faculty person. And any other information about you. So your tech ID and, you know, any extra information that would answer that those basic questions about what the event was and when and where and how it was taking place.
I just wanted to go back to the question about the cultural presentation to a class. So on the webpage, we do have that listed as 1 point. So I can't remember who asked that, but it has not changed to 2 points. So I'm not sure where, if you can tell us where you're seeing that, or if someone told you that, we can correct the source on that. But our webpage does indicate that it's worth 1 point.
I think they're saying it's inside of Galaxy.
Oh,
that it's 2 points. But anyway, whatever it says on the website, that's really the rules that we are going off of. And we can talk about counting different points at a different time of like what experiences have what values. That's something I'm hoping to work on in the future, is revisiting, are these point values making sense? So I think we'll just have to alter what the Galaxy site says in terms of 2 points. Other questions?
that was an error. Yeah, so the 2 point thing, thank you for pointing that out, Elias. That was a mistake on my part, just with entering all the data, because I had to enter that manually. It looks like I just accidentally put 2 points instead of 1 point. So I appreciate you pointing that out, and I will get that updated after our meeting here today.
That's a good point. If I can throw in just some advice too. I know sometimes it can be demotivating to have to do things like experiences for the points and everything. And I just want to remind you all that completing these experiences should be something you think about and make decisions about. And you want to utilize your time in the best and most useful way possible. So you want to think about which experiences are going to make you happy and have fun, or B, help you towards an academic or career or professional goal. This is something we keep talking about a lot in the KIC, is we want to see volunteers at KIC events who are giving it their all. And guess what? If we see someone who is really doing a great job, we make a note of that, and we may share job opportunities with that person directly to interview, and we may not post it on Handshake because we already have someone in mind. A lot of departments on campus, they operate this way. They keep their eye on students who stand out and show that they're interested. And so really think about your time as utilizing the experience as some way that can help you move forward. And I know it can feel like you're checking a box and like, oh, I have to do this. But remember, it's also an opportunity to make it count towards something, or to learn something, or even just to have fun. So I just want to send you all off reminding you that use your time and pick your experiences on something that will help you in the future. Okay, we got some more questions. Okay, what about International Festival? We will create a need response for that one on Galaxy because a lot of volunteers were there, and I think it's great if we can just do that. So it will likely be one as a performer, and one as a volunteer, and one as a lead coordinator. So there'll be 3 different responses. You need to respond to the correct one that corresponds to what you did. how can we get the video that's related with uploading video and notice about participation in other volunteering work? If you're talking about the video we're doing right now, that will be posted on the IMS website at the link above that I put for the scholarship page. So we can't give you the link until the video is done recording. So you're gonna have to wait for it to finish, and we will, it'll take some time for it to process. And as soon as it's ready, it will be available on the website. So just keep checking. It may be sometime next week. All right, Ellie, this is another question. We were told we would receive a scholarship point for just participating in the International Festival by showcasing our cultural clothing. Yes, that's correct. So I guess I will have to make a fourth category for the International Festival.
And keep in mind, a lot of these needs, we need to clean them up. So I wouldn't, after this meeting, I wouldn't go rushing into Galaxy Digital to upload them. Give us through next week to get them all cleaned up and make sure everything matches with what we have been offering. So making sure that all of the international festival categories are there, that the peer mentor there is correct. So I would just say, give us the next week to clean it all up before you put in all your points.
Thank you, Paulina. That's a really good point. We keep saying point. It's funny. Other questions? One of the other cool things for newer students who maybe started last year or this year, what's cool about Galaxy is that it really helps you find opportunities for volunteering in the Mankato area a little more easily and directly. And I also really suggest trying those out as well, because you want to, think about what you're interested in, but it's also cool to get connected with people who are from Mankato. And sometimes it's easy to get into our little on-campus bubble. But there are a lot of needs in Mankato, and it's great to get involved in that too. And there are a lot of student staff who have done volunteer opportunities like that. And one of them is PJ, who works in our office. So if you ever want to talk to somebody about that, I'm sure they'd be happy to discuss their experiences with you and kind of help find out how to do that without feeling like you don't know where you're going. All right, we have a question wondering if students will get an email when we feel like everything has been fully uploaded. We can do that. I think that's fine.
I think Blake and I were discussing that we can commit to having it ready by February 10th, so a week from tomorrow.
Yep. So Sachit is wondering if this means all of the RSOs are getting transferred to Galaxy as well. This is a complicated question because some RSOs are and some are not, because of where they fall in the organization of student life. And so what I can say right now is most likely the RSOs that are underneath the KIC, so international RSOs, we are going to really encourage the leadership of those RSOs to communicate with KIC when they're having events or some kind of volunteering experience, so that we can help create that need in Galaxy. Otherwise, during the transition, I imagine it will take some time for RSOs to understand that process. And so they may create it in InvolveU. But again, you as the student will need to manually upload it into Galaxy as well. And I know this is very inconvenient, but what is important is that we are able to pull a report of everybody's opportunities and hours from one location at the end of the year, so that we can award your scholarship for the coming year.
So I just want to expand a little bit more on what Madeline just said. So just to clarify, what we are focusing on here is using Galaxy Digital to help with the International Maverick Scholarship, whether that's connecting you with volunteer opportunities or helping make it easy for you to log your pre-approved experiences and activities, and for us to be able to have that information saved and be able to better track everything. When it comes to student activities and your RSO and student organizations relation with them, that's something you would have to reach out to them to ask about the future of Involve U. I'm not sure what direction that they are going to take. There's been some staffing changes in the student activities office as far as full-time staff. And so that's something that, like I said, as far as your RSO's relationship in respect to student activities and Involve U, that's something you would have to ask them about. And again, just to clarify, these are things that we migrated to this new site, Galaxy. Primarily, one of the main reasons was because the feedback from students was that Involve U was not working for them. We listened to all of your feedback that it was very frustrating that a lot of students would show me that they couldn't submit their hours, or their hours or points weren't showing up correctly, or they were getting a loading screen for 20 minutes and the website would be down all the time. So we realized this isn't maybe a perfect solution, because some of you are having to log things twice in some cases, but we're hoping that this website eliminates a lot of those issues that you were all telling us you were having last time. Anyone have any other questions for us? Okay, I think we're going to go ahead and wrap up this meeting. Thank you everyone for attending. I hope this was informational for all of you. As we mentioned earlier, just keep an eye on the International Maverick Scholarship webpage under the KIC website umbrella, and this recording should be posted next week. And like I said, I'll also try to get some step-by-step instructions posted that'll hopefully be a little bit more clear and concise for all of you. So again, thank you. Hope you enjoy the rest of your week, and yeah, happy point and experience submitting.